Hello Internet, I'm Scarecrow85 and welcome back to the Jurassic World modification for Jurassic Park Operation Genesis. I've done this once before on my channel, but this time we got a newer, updated version of it. Things have come along, there's some new things. I think I've installed it on my computer a little better this time, so we're going to get to have a look at some of the improved graphics, some of the nice foliage, some scenery, some new dinosaurs. Thanks again to the Toho Society for sending this to me. This is really exciting and I can't wait to show it to you. So let's dive right in and see what's new. Okay, so right away we can see that the foliage here is pretty decent. It's quite different to what I had before, and it looks really good. Here on the visitor centre you can see it's growing all through it and everything, and at first I thought that was a mistake. Like, how is anyone going to get through that? But I thought actually in the film it's all overgrown, so it does make sense. That's like accurate to the movie to have the visitor centre if we're still going to have it. I mean, people do still arrive through it, but still, you know. Building your park is pretty much the same as it was before, which is cool. There's some a few enhancements made here and there, which are quite nice, but you'll see that shortly. And here's Parasaurolophus, as it looks in The Lost World, which I like very much. I love that bluey tone. The animations are really nice. A lot of these models in this version of the modification have been changed and improved. The animations, the models, the textures, there's a lot of differences here. This, for example, you can see the map is different. Now we've got Isla Nublar, it looks really nice. There's quite a lot of locations there that you can unlock. Did I mention there's a new voiceover? There is a new voiceover. They've added more sound effects and voices from various Jurassic Park properties, in particular Jurassic World Evolution. Now if I click on info here, you can see, look how many dinosaurs are available to find in this area. Now, I mean, Carnotaurus, for crying out loud, but these dinosaurs aren't necessarily all currently in this build. So you can imagine that this is presumably like a almost like a shopping list. I'll try and show you a good few of these to give you an idea of what's going to be loaded into this modification when it's done, and it's safe to say it's massive. It is massive. Look at how many dinosaurs are here, and there's some great examples there, some brilliant dinosaurs. I'm pretty excited about it. As mentioned, you're not going to see all of these in this particular video as the mod is not that far completed yet, but they've covered just about everything that the series has ever even slightly alluded to, and they're going to continue making this mod bigger as the series goes on and more dinosaurs are added in the movies. Here's Sticky Mollop, for example, from Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, and it looks pretty damn cool. This is the Dinopedia. It's been expanded. They've actually got some custom imagery here from the website and a few screenshots from the movies as well. And each dinosaur, as far as I could tell, does have a bespoke description, which is really cool. So one of the other improvements made to this modification that I noticed was things like the R&D when you're researching and developing, when you're researching, for example, dinosaur illnesses and things like that. All of the time limits are set to 1 week, which means that you can get all of the dinosaur vaccines researched flat out, really fast, and it's brilliant. And no more panicking. It's a much more comfortable gaming experience. I know that's part of the game, but still. Here's an Ankylosaurus. I think it's using a slightly more Fallen Kingdom-esque texture this time. It's kind of greeny coloured. They still include other textures, so you can have your Ankylosaurus set up however you would like it. But yeah, that's the default one. Carnotaurus here, my personal favourite. I love this dinosaur. It's so freaking cool. Now this is using the model from Jurassic World Alive, the mobile game. But to even implement that and these animations onto this model, and just the way they've got this running is incredible. It blows my mind. I really like the attention to detail, like the wonky moon, for example. I mean, that's exactly how the moon looks to me. Nighttime takes the place of twisters and such like, so helicopters won't fly at night, and night lasts the whole month, which is weird, but by golly does it look nice, wonky moon and all. So a lot of the textures have been improved and the models have been improved. As you can see, this looks really lush, really nice. The fences, when they're fully upgraded like this, look like the Indominus paddock, which I like very much. And this is Deinonychus, a new addition for the mod at this point, and boy do they look cool. They're really hissy. I don't know if the Deinonychus in Jurassic World Evolution looks like this. I know that it has a crest in Evolution. This one doesn't, so I don't know if that's a modification or whether these are unique to this version of the mod. I'm not sure, but I really like them. They make a nice change from Velociraptor as well. Edmontosaurus was added very recently, and it looks fantastic. The texture work is beautiful. It's really smooth. It stands out. It's so colourful. It's using the colour scheme found on the Jurassic World website. I don't think Edmontosaurus has ever appeared in the series aside from a skull, so it's quite nice to have one walking around here nicely patterned and everything. And this is Nippon Asaurus, another recent addition. And I'm really appreciating all these new hadrosaurs, the duck-billed dinosaurs, because they're really pretty. They're just such nice creatures, and it's good to have some really unusual ones as well. It's all very well having your Parasaurolophus and Carnotaurus. We all love those, but it's nice to have a bit of variation as well. As you can see, there's a Ankylodocus wandering around in this enclosure. That was present in the previous version of the build, but I thought I'd include it here as well. This is a Compsognathus, and this blew my bloomin' mind. Look at this thing. It's so cool. And flashbacks to the Lost World. Like, this is nostalgia with this little guy. He's actually he's genuinely tiny. You get a whole bunch of these and you can just hear them in the grass. The only problem is, because this mod does improve the foliage and make it much more lush and jungly, as you can see here, Compsognathus gets lost in the grass almost immediately and is very difficult to see. It's a neat addition and it's very accurate, but I don't know whether or not it's one you'd want to include. That was a Stegosaurus, I threw it in there. That was also in the previous version. It's a really nice model, but this guy is what I really want to show you, because the Indoraptor is probably one of my favourite additions to the series. And as much as I'm a purist and I do like my dinosaurs, I do like the hybrids are so cool. Indominus Rex and Indoraptor are just amazing, and I'm glad we have them in the franchise. This, it's so cool to have this in Operation Genesis. I just can't get over it, and I like the bespoke voiceover as it's wandering around. So there are new bits of scenery, including, as you can see in the background there, the Samsung Innovation Centre and the Spinosaurus skeleton in the foreground. I was happy with the framing on this shot, by the way. You may have noticed. I'm going to linger on it here for a little bit. The park now looks so much nicer. It really feels like Jurassic World. The iconography in that movie was dead on. I mean, they really identified what worked in Jurassic Park, and part of it was just the logo and the branding, and Jurassic World has its own identity, which comes across in this mod really nicely. I mean, just look how good that looks. Baryonyx is back, this time with a new texture. It's darker, it's a bit more menacing, it feels a bit more Lost Worldy, which I quite like. It's still using the same basic texture as the standard one from Jurassic World, but I really appreciate that. Sticking with the Spinosaurids here, it's Spinosaurus itself from Jurassic Park 3, with its Jurassic Park 3 look, but it's got more of a crocodilian shape to its face. Again, this one was present in the previous build, I think, but it's so cool, and it's a huge improvement on the Jurassic Park Operation Genesis one, which I have a little nostalgia for. I do love it, but this is, oh, just look at that. And lastly, Suchomimus to complete the set. Suchomimus sadly not seen in the movies yet, but it looks really good right here. Again, just look at that jaw, look how slim and crocodile-like that is. It's just beautiful, beautiful work. The sound effects are all on point. Parasaurolophus here looking... Is it Parasaurolophus? They say Parasaurolophus in this as well. I don't know how it's pronounced, but either way. A lot of people's favourite hadrosaur, this one, and I can see why. It's one of my favourites. It's sporting its... very specifically the Lost World look. It retains this look throughout the series more or less, but it's a favourite of mine. And you can see Brachiosaurus and I think that's a... No, hang on. The Brachiosaurus, and that's a Dreadnoughtus in the background just then. Here's a Dracorex. I think that one's new for this build, possibly. The Stegosaurus here are definitely a new model compared to last time, or are they? Hang on. Hang on, bring up a picture of the previous ones. Okay, there you go. Either way, they look really damn cool. Stegosaurs. Who doesn't love Stegosaurus? The roof lizards are sweet, and these guys just are so much fun to watch. Oh, just look at them go. I love the bloom effects in the background as well. That's really nice. So, in the previous build didn't have any Velociraptors in it. This version has blue. And blue looks amazing. They've used the texture that they've lifted here, or drawn themselves, I'm not 100% sure here, but it's accurate to the movie in the sense that her blue stripe is asymmetrical, it's different on each side. This side that she's showing us here, it makes it all the way to her upright eye, but on the left side it doesn't. absolutely love that kind of attention to detail. They've also included these Velociraptors. Now, at first I thought they were green, but if you look closely, they are actually kind of a mottled greeny brown. Jurassic Outpost recently did a report on how the original Jurassic Park raptors were not green, they were brown. And I'm pretty sure that these are the Gen 1 Jurassic Park Velociraptors, and I really get the feels, like they remind me of those. They look amazingly cool. So it's very cool to have a trio of the classic raptors alongside Blue here. It made my day. Really, really cool. I like them very much. They've still got slight ridges on the tops of their heads as well, which reminds me very much of the Jurassic Park 3 Velociraptors. So I guess they're kind of a blending of different Velociraptor types. Here we have Dilophosaurus, back in the show. Do love a Dilophosaurus, one of my favourites. Can't wait to see that in Jurassic World 3. It had better be there. Alan Grant and Ellie had better get to see their Dilophosaurus, because they never did they? Right, so this is Rugops, and I've got to admit, actually, the model is really nice, and the texture work is nice. It looks like it's got a skull for a face, but I preferred the previous version of this because it was cute. This version's terrifying. So Rugops are really cool. They're a sort of family member alongside the Abelisaurs, alongside Carnotaurus. So of course they're fine by me. But yeah, this particular version of it is really impressive, and it's a good addition to anyone's park. But I kind of preferred the cutesy previous version. Either way though, super cool, and the texture's much higher quality. Here's a Metriacanthosaurus as well, borrowing its look from the website. And I wish we'd seen these in the movies. So I'm very impressed by the Dimetrodon. I'm really thrilled that they've managed to get this working in this game. It's quite different to anything else you can have in your park. It's using the Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom appearance based on how it looked in Lockwood's Manor. And just look at him go! Look at him go! These things are great! Yay! Go on, little guy. Oh man. So Allosaurus is one of my standout favourites from Fallen Kingdom. Didn't expect to see it at all, actually, to be honest, and we got to see a fair bit of it in the film. Didn't really get an action scene with it or anything like that, so hopefully we'll get to see something like that in Jurassic World 3, or Battle at Big Rock, which seems to be a thing. That looks like it's got an Allosaurus in it as well, albeit with a different texture, so I'll be interested to see whether or not the guys making this mod will include textures to fit every version that we start to see of these dinosaurs, or whether they'll just select a prevailing one. I'm not sure. I imagine, given the way it's going, they will grab as much in as they can. But nonetheless, the Allosaurus as it stands is movie accurate and really nice. Possibly one of my favourite dinosaurs in this modification. More so than Carnotaurus even though that's my favourite dinosaur. Gotta hand it to this model, this texture, and just the way it's rigged, the way it's animated. They've just implemented it so well. And of course, here's Rexy, everyone's favourite T-Rex, with her scars intact, and she just looks beautiful. The T-Rex, I think people sort of get wrapped up in all the new dinosaurs, and they like to see new things, and that's cool, but the classics, man. I mean, look at this thing. She's gorgeous. This is completely different from some of the other models that I've seen. And she just looks really, really cool. She's got a very lion-like face, actually, particularly from the front. The staring eyes, the staring yellow eyes, and the teeth. I love it. Just geeking out, man. So yeah, that's the mod. That's most of the updates and changes that have happened since the last time that I dealt with this modification. As you can see, things have come a long way. A lot of these textures, I mean, look at the quality of the texture work. Everything's sharper now. I noticed that some of the previous ones were kind of a little blurry by comparison. Everything's been tweaked and tightened up. Some of the dinosaur behaviours have changed. Some of the models are more detailed. I'm sure we couldn't actually zoom in this close before, and it totally holds up when you do get this near. It's coming on leaps and bounds. It's beautiful, the work they're doing here. And there's a couple of dinosaur species here, by the way, that I didn't include in some of the other footage, including Archaeornithomimus over here, which I prefer to Gallimimus, I've got to say, they're really fun. And Sinoceratops that you saw over there. There's a Mamenchisaurus here, Triceratops, they're all good fun. Oh, and I also wanted to point out, the UI has had a complete overhaul. It looks really nice. And we've got some new options here, including hills and plantables, which is a sub-menu. Clicking on it gives you a sub-menu of grasses. As you can see, I've planted some here already. I don't actually know if that makes any difference in terms of gameplay, but it sure looks nice. Also, paleo trees are real dense jungle. Look at that! It looks amazing. So, yeah, as you can see, leaps and bounds, absolutely loving it. The voiceover work as well, just from Jurassic Park Evolution. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed seeing this. I'll report on as much as I learn about this mod as it goes on, because I'm a huge fan of this. Everyone at the Jurassic Legacy mod team who are responsible for this, and the Toho Society who supplied me with the link to actually have a go at this. Like, support those guys if you can. Keep an eye on the website. I'll put links in the description below. Yeah, this is definitely one to watch, and thank you for watching this video. And by the way, you may have noticed, I mean, did you notice that I didn't have any footage of the Indominus Rex in this video? Well, here's why. I did put one in my park, but this happened. This is the Indominus Rex, and it looks amazing. I love all the colours in it.
Message from Owen Grady.
Wait, what? The Carnotaurus killed it in one hit. What? No, that does not make sense. Come on now. Good job, Carnotaurus. I was not expecting that. Okay, there we go. Carnotaurus is best dinosaur, confirmed. What just happened?